Have you ever wished for more hours in the day? Perhaps you've felt the relentless pressure of time, the feeling that there's simply not enough of it to accomplish everything you need to do. Ironically, the opposite is happening. Our days are getting shorter. The very foundation of our daily lives, the 24-hour cycle we've come to rely on, is subtly but measurably changing. Right now, the Earth is spinning just a little bit faster. A phenomenon that might seem insignificant at first glance. A change so subtle it's measured in milliseconds. These tiny fractions of a second, imperceptible to our everyday senses, are adding up to something quite extraordinary. Our most sensitive atomic clocks are recording this shift. These incredibly precise instruments, the gold standard of timekeeping, are revealing a subtle acceleration in the Earth's rotation, forcing scientists to consider unprecedented steps. The implications of this change are so profound that the scientific community is grappling with how to respond, like introducing a negative leap second to keep our timekeeping in sync. This would be a truly historic event, a testament to the ever-changing nature of our planet and our ability to measure it with incredible accuracy. But what if this acceleration didn't stop? What if this subtle increase in speed continued, gradually but inexorably altering the pace of our world? What if the Earth kept spinning faster and faster? The consequences could be far-reaching and transformative, impacting everything from our daily routines to the very fabric of our planet. The speed of our planet's rotation governs everything. It's the metronome that sets the tempo for life on Earth, influencing a multitude of natural processes. The length of our days, dictating how much sunlight we receive, and shaping the rhythms of our biological clocks. The flow of our oceans, influencing weather patterns and marine ecosystems across the globe. Even the force of gravity. The centrifugal force created by the Earth's rotation counteracts gravity, and changes to the rotation speed would affect this delicate balance. Even a tiny adjustment could ripple across the globe, setting off a chain reaction of unforeseen consequences, rewriting the rules of life as we know it. The world we've adapted to, the environment we depend on, could be fundamentally altered. Imagine a world where your watch becomes obsolete, a symbol of a bygone era, unable to keep pace with the changing reality. Not because it breaks, but because the day itself is changing. The very definition of a second, a minute, an hour would need to be recalibrated. This isn't just a technical problem. It's not simply a matter of adjusting our clocks and calendars. It's a fundamental shift in the physics of our world. It challenges our understanding of the forces that govern our planet and our place within the cosmos. The story begins with a few lost milliseconds, a seemingly insignificant anomaly detected by our most advanced instruments. But it could escalate into a dramatic saga of survival, a story of adaptation, resilience, and the enduring power of life in the face of profound change. So let's explore what would happen if the Earth's rotation increased. Let's delve into the science, the possibilities, and the potential consequences of a faster spinning world. Not just by milliseconds, but by miles per hour. Let's imagine a world where the days are noticeably shorter, where the winds are stronger, and where the oceans behave in unexpected ways. We'll look at the science, examining the complex interplay of forces that govern our planet's rotation and the potential drivers of this acceleration. The potential disasters, exploring the risks of increased storms, altered ocean currents, and shifts in the Earth's magnetic field, and the profound impact on every life on this planet. From the smallest microorganisms to the largest mammals, no living thing would be untouched by such a dramatic change. The ground beneath our feet feels stable, a constant and reliable foundation upon which we build our lives. But its motion is the single most important rhythm of our lives, the heartbeat of our planet, shaping our days, our seasons, and our very existence. And that rhythm is changing. The Earth is sending us a signal, a subtle but unmistakable sign that our world is in motion, and that the future may hold surprises we can scarcely imagine. To understand the risks, we first need to appreciate how perfectly things work right now. Earth completes a rotation every 24 hours, moving at over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. You don't feel this speed because everything, air, water, land, moves with you. This spin creates centrifugal force, strongest at the equator, causing Earth to bulge and shaping our world. It also orchestrates our weather through the Coriolis effect, giving hurricanes their spin and guiding ocean currents. Without this precise speed, our weather would be unrecognizable, and life as we know it would be impossible. Our technology, biology, and even our internal clocks are tuned to this cycle. Satellites rely on it, and our body's circadian rhythms are synchronized with it. This balance is the foundation of our world. Even a small push could send the entire system wobbling. Let's start small. Let's consider a seemingly insignificant alteration to our planet's rotation. Imagine the Earth spins just 1 mile per hour faster at the equator. It sounds trivial, doesn't it? A mere mile per hour. But what if I told you that this tiny change could ripple outwards, affecting everything from our technology to our coastlines? A day would be about 1.5 minutes shorter, a seemingly negligible difference in our daily lives. It might not be enough to notice in your daily routine, but it would be enough to disrupt our digital world in profound ways. Computers, financial markets, and navigation systems, all reliant on precise timekeeping, would constantly need adjustment, creating a persistent technological headache. Imagine the cascading errors, the constant need for recalibration. It would be a never-ending cycle of fixes and patches. The increased speed would amplify centrifugal force, that outward push you feel on a spinning ride. This amplified force would cause ocean water to migrate toward the equator, pulled by the planet's increased spin. Sea levels there would rise by several inches, a seemingly small amount with potentially devastating consequences. This rise would lead to more frequent flooding in vulnerable coastal cities like Singapore and Quito, disrupting infrastructure and displacing communities. Satellites in geostationary orbit, those carefully positioned guardians of our communication and navigation systems, would begin to drift off course. This drift would require constant repositioning, forcing them to burn through their precious fuel reserves much faster than anticipated. The cost to maintain our space infrastructure, already a significant investment, would skyrocket to astronomical levels. Weather patterns would shift as the Coriolis effect, which influences the direction of winds and currents, strengthens. This strengthening would make storms slightly more unpredictable, adding another layer of complexity to weather forecasting. Ocean currents, the lifeblood of our marine ecosystems, could subtly change their courses, impacting marine ecosystems and the delicate balance of life within our oceans. This isn't a cataclysm, a world-ending event, but it's a warning. Even the smallest change, a seemingly insignificant adjustment, can set off a cascade of global consequences, rippling outwards in ways we might not fully anticipate. Our perfectly balanced system, the intricate web of interactions that sustains life on Earth, is more fragile than it seems. The first tremor, the initial jolt, signals that a much larger earthquake, a more significant disruption is possible. The cracks in our system, the subtle signs of strain, begin to show, revealing the underlying vulnerabilities. And this is just the beginning, a glimpse into the potential consequences of even the smallest alterations to our planet. Now let's crank up the speed. Imagine Earth spinning faster than it does now. What if Earth spun 100 miles per hour faster? What kind of chaos would that unleash on our world? Days would shrink to 22 hours, compressing everything we know into a shorter time frame. This would throw our biological clocks into complete chaos, disrupting our natural rhythms. Sleep disorders and a host of other health problems would become widespread, straining our healthcare systems. Our bodies would struggle relentlessly to adapt to this accelerated pace, leading to chronic fatigue and stress. The increased centrifugal force, a consequence of the faster spin, would push ocean water dramatically toward the equator, reshaping coastlines. This would result in raising sea levels by up to 65 feet, inundating coastal regions and altering the world map. Major cities and entire nations would vanish beneath the waves, swallowed by the encroaching ocean. This cataclysmic event would displace millions, triggering an unprecedented refugee crisis as people desperately seek higher ground. Weather would become permanently violent, a constant barrage of extreme conditions. We'd see supercharged hurricanes, far more powerful than anything we've ever witnessed. There would be relentless storms, raging across the globe with terrifying intensity. And new, extreme climate zones would emerge, rendering vast areas uninhabitable. The equator would transform into a stormy, waterlogged belt, a perpetual tempest. Meanwhile, the poles would become increasingly arid, turning into frozen deserts. Satellites and GPS systems would fail, disrupting communication and navigation networks. Consequently, air travel would become incredibly hazardous, with turbulence and unpredictable weather patterns making flights dangerous. Agriculture would collapse in many regions due to these drastic climate shifts, leading to widespread food shortages. Our civilization, meticulously built for a 24-hour day, would face an unprecedented challenge. We would be plunged into survival mode, struggling to adapt to a world turned upside down. The delicate balance that sustains us, the very foundation of our society, would be shattered beyond recognition. The planet would become alien and hostile, a place almost unrecognizable from the world we know today. A faster spin would dramatically reshape our oceans. Water would pile up at the equator, swallowing cities like Alexandria and entire states like Florida. Southeast Asia's major cities would vanish beneath a new, shallow sea. The weight of this water could trigger earthquakes in regions unaccustomed to them. Meanwhile, the poles would dry out, exposing new, barren land, but making these regions colder and more inhospitable. Marine life would be devastated as coral reefs are plunged into darkness and polar ecosystems lose their habitats. Ocean currents would be thrown into chaos, leading to mass extinctions and further climate destabilization. Push the scenario further. Earth spins 1,000 miles per hour faster, doubling its speed. Days last only 12 hours, and centrifugal force nearly rivals gravity at the equator. The equatorial oceans become miles deep, submerging continents and leaving only polar regions above water. The atmosphere thickens at the equator, creating crushing pressure and perpetual storms. Winds reach unimaginable speeds, making survival impossible in most regions. The poles become thin-aired, isolated supercontinents. Our only refuge. Civilization as we know it would vanish, replaced by scattered survivors in a hostile new world. The ground itself would be under stress, constantly shifting as the planet's shape adjusts. This isn't just a different world, it's a different planet. A faster spin would awaken geological chaos. Trillions of tons of water at the equator would stress tectonic plates, triggering massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. The Earth's crust would stretch and deform, creating new fault lines and thrusting up mountains. The land would become unstable, constantly shifting under new rotational stress. The atmosphere would become deadly, crushing pressure at the equator, perpetual storms, and blocked sunlight. Plant life would die, collapsing food chains. Gravity would vary wildly, lighter at the equator, heavier at the poles, affecting everything from buildings to biology. The planet would become a funhouse of physics, with nature's rules changing by latitude. Systemic collapse would be inevitable. Could this actually happen? The good news, it's extraordinarily unlikely. Earth's rotation is governed by the law of conservation of angular momentum. Speeding it up would require a colossal external force. The only plausible cause, a massive asteroid impact, would be an extinction-level event anyway. In reality, Earth's rotation is slowly slowing down, not speeding up, thanks to the moon's tidal friction. The recent speed-up is a minor fluctuation, not a trend. These scenarios are thought experiments, not predictions, but they reveal just how finely tuned and stable our planet truly is. Imagining a faster spinning Earth isn't just about disaster. It's about understanding the delicate balance that sustains us. The 24-hour day, gravity, and weather patterns are the foundation of life. Our civilization, technology, and even our bodies are synchronized to this rhythm. If that foundation shifted, everything else would too. This thought experiment reminds us to appreciate the stability we have, and the importance of monitoring even the smallest changes. Our planet is a rare, perfectly calibrated home in the cosmos. The next time you watch a sunrise, remember, you're on a spinning sphere, hurtling through space. Understanding that journey